What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Money's Funko Pops. My name is Justin, and today I'm going to be going over everything that I personally want to see Funko make in 2020. So I think that 2019 had so much amazing stuff released. Funko picked up so many awesome licenses. There were so many things that I had to add to my personal collection, and I'm definitely looking forward to what's going to come next year in 2020. There's stuff on this list from licenses that Funko already has, and there's also stuff on this list from licenses that I would love to see Funko pick up. So this whole list is just a combination of everything that I want to see come out next year. And I would love to know what your biggest want from 2020 is down below in the comments. Make sure you guys let me know down below if you agree with what's on my list, if you disagree with what's on my list, but absolutely make sure you let me know what you want to see Funko do next year in 2020. So let's go ahead and jump right in with Marvel. So one thing that I would love to see from Funko next year is an updated Nick Fury. And I'm not talking about 1990s Nick Fury from Captain Marvel. I'm talking about a current, up-to-date Nick Fury. And personally, I can't believe that we didn't get one from Far From Home with the drastic role that Nick Fury played in that movie. And speaking of Spider-Man Far From Home, it is a crime that we haven't gotten a Ned pop yet. And my money was on Ned being in the MCC box. And if you guys want to see my disappointment from unboxing that, I'll make sure I link that not only down below, but at the end of this video as well. I know we're all about that Endgame hype right now, but to go back to Infinity War, I think it would be really awesome to get a Doctor Strange with all of the different hands. I guess it might be a little difficult for Funko to produce that product because of the fact that they'd have to get all the hands and it might be a little too cluttery, but nonetheless, I think it would be an awesome pop. And then to get into Endgame, I have a bunch of things I still want to see. This most recent wave of Endgame pops had a lot of spoilers for the movie, like Captain America with the hammer, Bro Thor, so many different moments that they can finally produce pops for. One thing that I would love to see, and I'm sure a lot of people out there can agree with me, is an Endgame Black Widow, not in the Quantum suit. I would love to see Black Widow in her black suit. I think having an updated Black Widow in her iconic suit would be an awesome looking pop, and I personally can't believe that they haven't done it yet with all of the Endgame pops that they've released. Another thing that I want to see from Endgame is Valkyrie on her Pegasus as a pop ride. And if they want to get crazy with it, they could put the Iron Spider with the gauntlet on the back of it. Something else small that I want to see from Endgame is Black Panther with the gauntlet and Captain Marvel with the gauntlet. With Marvel movies, they have done directors in the past. You know, we've gotten James Gunn, we've gotten Taika Waititi, and I would love to see an Anthony and Joe Russo 2-pack with the Avengers Endgame box. So to move away from Marvel, let's go ahead and talk about other lines that I collect, the first being ScoobyDoo. 2019 was the 50th anniversary of ScoobyDoo, and to celebrate that, they went ahead and they produced a whole new wave of commons for ScoobyDoo, as well as a bunch of Funko Shop exclusives that now go for a lot of money on the secondary market. So even though the 50th anniversary is over, I would love to see this line continue forward and give more villains. If I had to pick 3 villains I would want to see come next year, it would definitely be the Tar Monster, the Ghost of Redbeard, and then the Headless Spectre. But I'm not sure the Headless Spectre is practical at all, considering Funko's trademark thing is big heads, and this dude doesn't have a head at all. So these two go hand in hand, Parks and Rec and The Office. I'm going to get the one that I'm most upset with out of the way, and that is Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is my favorite TV show of all time, and as much as I love all the pops that they've done for this show so far, I would love to get more of these things, and rumor has it that they've lost the license or it's on some sort of hold because there was some sort of issue with the vendor. I'm not sure what the situation is, but nonetheless, it means that we haven't gotten a new wave of Parks and Rec pops for some time. Granted, in 2019, we did get this Johnny Karate Chase and the Andy Dwyer and the Mouse Rat t-shirt, which were both Fugitive Toys exclusives and are way too expensive for me to get my hands on. There are so many other characters from the show that they haven't done yet. Ben, Chris, Ann, Donna, Jerry, Larry, Gary, whatever you want to call them. It's such a big cast and it's such a memorable cast. I think it's a crime that they didn't do more with it when they had the license. So unfortunately, I think this is going to be the least likely thing on my list here, but I definitely want to see more Parks and Rec pops in 2020, but not like this Johnny Karate. I do not want another 500 piece limited edition Parks and Rec pop and then an 83 Chase. I don't want that. No, I want common releases or shared exclusives. Let's make it happen, Funko. Now, The Office is a license that Funko picked up this year for the first time, and they have completely gone full in with this thing. People wanted Office Pops, now they're finally getting them, and they are just doing them over and over. We're getting exclusives left and right. So one thing I have complained about the Office set, as much as I love it, is that they're doing too many Jim, Dwight, and Michael variants. I think that they, of course, are three of the most memorable characters of the show, but there are so many other castmates that they could be doing in replace of all of these different variants. I would love to see Stanley, Holly, Ryan in the wolf shirt, Oscar in the Senator 2-pack, Angela with Skittles, Cherokee Jack, Mose. There are so many other characters from this show that I think would make awesome Pops. And I truly do believe that we will be getting a second wave of Office Pops in 2020. I'm just hoping that they go ahead and they do more characters from the set. There was a leak showing a Kelly Kapoor Pop, and I'm not sure what ended up happening with that. It'll be interesting to see where Kelly Kapoor has gone, and I can't wait to see them do more Office Pops next year. So to transition to something else, I have been collecting nostalgia recently. Funko has been doing products from my childhood. I'm finally at an age where things from the 1990s and the early 2000s are like classic. So that's kind of terrifying. Existential crisis inbound. But one set that I have loved collecting is Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's leaks showing that we're going to be getting more of them, and I could not be any more excited. Now, I will not be talking about the leaks here in this video because I do not want to cite the source material, but some Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops that I would love to see come out are Karibo, Buster Blader, Thousand Eyes Restrict. Even some Elemental Heroes would be awesome, like Wingman, Burstinatrix, Clayman, Sparkman. And I don't think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops should just be limited to the characters like Kaiba and Yugi and the monster cards themselves. I think it'd be cool to do some spells and some traps as well. So I'm not only looking forward to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops that have leaked so far, but I am also looking forward to the bigger picture as Yu-Gi-Oh! And Funko continue to collab in the future. Pokemon. Big license, not a lot of Pops this year, which I think is the right way to do it. And there have been some leaks that there is Pokemon Pop 5 and Pokemon Pop 6 coming out, etc., etc. So of course, everybody has their own opinions as to which Pokemon should be turned into Pops. Everybody has their favorites and their least favorites. For me, my favorite Pokemon of all time is Blossom, and I know for a fact we're never going to get a Blossom Pop. Some Pokemon Pops I would have loved to see them make and are probably the most practical are Mewtwo, Charizard, Mew, Jigglypuff, and I would even go as far as to say Mr. Mime. But I don't want to see Funko build themselves into a box here. I don't want to see them just do Generation 1 Pokemon. I think Lucario from the Sinnoh, Greninja from the Kalos are great contenders for Pops as well. They're very popular. People love the designs and they've ranked high on like those popularity polls. So I hope Funko doesn't just continue to do Gen 1 Pokemon. So as far as Disney goes, I'm really not too sure what I would want to see from them in 2020. I would love to see the WALL-E Earth Day exclusives get continued, but I really can't think of too much that they could do there. I would also like to see the classic Toy Story Pops get revisited. They did this with Jessie and the Alien during Toy Story 4, but I'm talking about the red boxed Toy Story exclusives. I think it'd be cool to go back and do another Lotso and maybe another Zurg, so collectors don't have to spend upwards of $400 to $500 to get these things. It's just a little thing that I would want. It's something that I'm like drooling for that I absolutely want. But those are really the only Disney things that I can think of. So one set that I collect that you guys don't see because it's out of frame is Pop Rocks. And I don't collect the entire thing because that would be insane, but I like to collect musicians from bands that I listen to and bands that I grew up listening to. So I'm going to get the big Pop Rocks one out of the way, and that is Foo Fighters Pops. I would love to see a Dave Grohl and a Taylor Hawkins, Taylor with the Foo Fighters logo on the drum, Dave Grohl with his hollow body guitar, maybe even do Dave Grohl in his guitar throne from when he jumped off the stage and broke his leg, kind of like a Game of Thrones moment, and having Dave in the chair with his leg raised because he broke it. That would be hysterical. Other Pop Rocks I would love to see are more classic rock bands. This year in particular, we got The Police. We got a re-release of that classic Rush 3-pack. I'd love to see Aerosmith. I'd love to see Steve Perry from Journey. I would definitely have to get an Ariana Grande Pop if they made her because I love Ariana Grande. And my favorite band personally is Queens of the Stone Age, which I know they will never, ever do Pops of. But if they were to ever do Queens of the Stone Age Pops, I would have to get like 20 of each of them because of how much I love the band. So now we get to the portion of the video where we talk about licenses that Funko does not already have. So let's start with some video games. I would love to see Destroy All Humans Pops, even if they just do the protagonist Crypto. Another game that I would love to see them do Pops for are Sly Cooper. I would also love to see them do Pops to coincide with the release of the Avengers game that's coming out in May. And then I would love to see a bunch of TV shows that I grew up with get pops finally. With the New York Comic Con Samurai Jack and Aku 2-pack, I think it's a great sign that we'll be getting more like early to mid 2000 Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon shows. I would personally love to see Ed, Edd n Eddy. Give us a Plank Pop. Give us a 10-inch Plank Pop. That would be outstanding. I would love to see Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. We can get Blue, Coco, Cheese, Will, Eduardo. So many iconic characters from that show, which I think would look great in pop form. I would also love to see Ben 10 pops, but I'm talking about the original Ben 10. Give us like a pop for each of the aliens from the Omnitrix. Hell, give us even like a 4 or 5 pack with all the different characters in there. I think that would be incredible. And then the biggest thing that I want next year from pops are Danny Phantom pops. Danny Phantom was my favorite show growing up. I used to watch it literally nonstop, and I think doing Danny Phantom would be outstanding. When they released the Ghost Gotenks for San Diego Comic-Con, I looked at it and I was like, okay, but imagine if they took that mold and they did the same thing with Danny Phantom. That would be so sick. You could have a classic Danny Phantom, you could have him going Ghost, you could have him transitioning from going Ghost, and then you could have him with the little spooky tail. This is a line that I would be okay with them doing so many different variants of because of how many different things they could do with the character. I know a lot of this stuff on this list is a long shot, and at the end of the day, it's just really fun to speculate. I'm going to like to look back on this video and kind of see how it ages, if it aged well or if it aged poorly. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon. What's up, guys? Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more content that I post here to the channel. Down below me, there are 2 different videos. You have my suggestion, which is the video that I suggest you watch, or you can click next video, which will take you to a video very similar to the one that you just watched. So thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll see you soon.